because I don't know if it was like pro LGBT where they're like Hunter's homophobic, just so you guys know. Like, you know what I mean? Or if it was like they were like, yeah, I love Triple H, he hates homos. What's going on? This is City Wrestling Radio, and this is yet another edition of our wonderful, classic, delicious, whatever good word, was it a noun or is it a verb? It's a verb, right?
What type of, it's adjective.
Adjective, whatever positive adjective you want to put in there. It's a retro show. This month, we are reviewing King of the Ring 2000.
Roll it back. I
mean, I thought it was a great show.
Great show, King of the Ring.
King of the Ring, yeah. But before I get into all of that, I'm your host. I'm Korey Smith. Joining with me via Zoom, telephone, pre-pandemic style, or not pre-pandemic style, pandemic style, Mr. Jose Oseguera.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? How's everybody out there doing? How are you doing, Mr. Smith?
I'm doing good. I think now doing these shows once a month, as we do each month, we review another retro wrestling pay-per-view or whatever you want to call it.
In the vein of this day in history, but it's more like this month in history. Yeah,
exactly. But now it's a little harder to get like into the swing of things. You know, we were talking about this before we got started recording, and I was like, wait, was I recording? I'm recording. It's good. But yeah, it's harder to get in the swing of things now. Like, I'm like, hi, how are you? This is Jose. Da, da, da. Anyways, King of the Ring 2000. What do you think of it?
Good show. Excellent show, actually. Some things I would have changed myself, but I understand why they were the way they were presented to us, is the booking of the way the tournament was actually laid out. We could have had more exciting matches towards the end of the show. You know, instead of blowing your load early with which was it? It was the Jericho match.
Oh, Jericho Angle.
You totally could have had that a little bit later on in the show and replaced him with Crash, played out the whole Crash story line throughout the night earlier. I would have been fine with that. But that's the only thing I really would change, other than maybe the way the main event ended or presented itself. It was just weird. The main event was odd.
I think this King of the Ring 2000 pay-per-view it's setting the bar high for 2000 pay-per-views, first off, because I haven't gone back. It's the first pay-per-view I've gone back and looked at from the year 2000. And it's really setting the bar high because A, I loved it. And B, I think this is the best pay-per-view to show somebody that wants to get into wrestling, because every match had a story and the entire show had a story. And it was just so easily to follow throughout the entire night.
Even the tournament storylines on top of the wrestlers' regular storylines, they melded really well. Like the IC story, being told on top of the tournament was really good.
Rikishi and Val Venis, you know, they met.
Rikishi Benoit, same thing.
Exactly. We're going to get into all of that in just a second. But if you do like what you're watching, check us out at all of our social media accounts: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at CWR415, at City Wrestling Radio. Don't forget to click the thumbs up below. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel, because, hey, it helps. It really does help the show. I mean, more people see it, then we get better equipment, better, YouTube will just buy the show and we'll be millionaires.
Yeah. And it works. Getting likes is an ego push. So if you give us some likes, I'm going to get a bigger push to watch more wrestling.
Let's get into it. First match of the night. You were mentioning it earlier, Rikishi versus Chris Benoit.
And you do notice, yeah, let's not go over that too deep. You do notice a couple XFL signs.
Yeah. Is this right after the first season?
I'm not too sure. I think it was, because Pac Bell, then known as Pac-12, was opened in the year 2000. And I believe XFL did their first season during the inaugural San Francisco Giants Stadium opener.
Okay, so their first season was in 2001. And
it was announced then, and it was on its way.
Yeah, there's a lot of XFL talk. JR and the King going back and forth the entire night talking XFL. So the first match of the night, Rikishi versus Chris Benoit. How did we get here? How did because not all the King of the Ring matches took place here at the King of the Ring tournament. Thank God. Because
can you imagine qualifiers? Ugh.
And this is the biggest King of the Ring in history. I'm sorry, I didn't even mention that. Was it 32 contestants? 32 men taking part in the tournament. The first and second round matches took place on Raw and SmackDown in the weeks leading up to the show. Jerry the King Lawler and Jim Ross are on commentary. So how did the two men get here? Rikishi qualified for the tournament, winning a match on May 29th, 2000 edition of Raw, defeating Shane McMahon himself by disqualification in the first round and pinning one of his best friends, Scotty 2 Hottie, on June 19th, 2000 in the second round. Although the SmackDown prior to the King of the Ring tournament, Rikishi defeated Chris Benoit for the Intercontinental title in a actually clean fashion. I went back and watched the match. He hits a bonsai drop on Benoit and just pins him and wins the title.
Whoa.
So, I mean, that's one thing that I've noticed in 2000 WWE or WWF at the time is that they are like, you'll see out of nowhere clean finishes.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, that's not a finisher, but, it's just like a wrestling move and they finish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I think we saw it a couple times here today, too.
Yeah. Let's see. But after Rikishi won the title, he got beat down with a steel chair by Chris Benoit, actually bruising his left side of his arm.
And it was a very apparent and very nasty looking contusion. How old were the Uso brothers at this point? Do we know?
I don't know.
I do. They were born in 1985 in San Francisco, California.
Hey, 2 years before.
So around this time, they were teenagers. We teenagers at the crisp age of 15. Is my math right? Yeah, 15, 95, 85 to 2000, right?
Yeah, they were probably they were at that age where they could have been my bullies.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, 2 years older than me. I'm like, yeah, I got one of those faces you want to punch.
Yeah, they were probably punking little Joe too.
Joe? Oh yeah,
future.
That's why he's the head of the table now.
Yeah, exactly.
How did Chris Benoit get to this part of the tournament? Chris Benoit qualified by defeating Road Dogg, and then he went on to defeat X-Pac. So he defeated DX.
Ooh, okay.
And then eventually losing his Intercontinental title to Rikishi, like I said, prior to the King of the Ring tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So the match itself, about 3 minutes and 25 seconds. The two men begin brawling back and forth with a lot of intense strikes going back and forth. Eventually, Rikishi giving Benoit a Samoan drop. Rikishi is literally, this guy's on fire, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking good in the ring. Benoit escapes to the outside with the Intercontinental champ following. Us throws Benoit into the steel chairs. I like how I caught myself and I didn't say, hey, what did I type right there? After one attempt, Benoit hits Rikishi with a German suplex. Benoit takes control with a series of strikes. We get a modified standing crossface, which I guess that was to Rikishi, but the Big Oos gets to the ropes. They battle around the ring for a minute. Rikishi goes down, and Benoit applies the crossface with Rikishi getting to the ropes. Benoit then just goes for the chair, even though the ref is telling him not to, and just strikes Rikishi with the chair.
I hate you.
So I didn't get why. Like, I think he might have been bribed on SmackDown by somebody, but what? I didn't.
Yeah.
Like, why did he just give up his space in the tournament?
I thought he was just portraying the bad guy.
You know what I thought too?
You took my title. I hate you.
That ref was just like, don't. Okay, whatever. He's gonna do it. I'm not.
I'm not gonna stand.
I'm not pulling that thing away from him, man. So the first minute of this match was decent, had a lot of intensity, but after that, I felt like it kind of derailed. They had, like I said, they had a match on SmackDown the week prior, and it was way better.
Mm-hmm.
Like way better. And I know it was for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you kind of had to preserve Rikishi for the rest of the evening because he does show up quite often. Sorry to spoil it for you guys, but yeah. Some I did notice that, Chris Benoit, everybody knows he was stiff, but this guy was actually stiff on himself.
Yeah.
Like he would take those back bumps
I heard
murder.
The one thing I heard though is that he was very careful to hit you with a chair. Like
Okay.
yeah, he was always very like the weakest chairs because even when you look at them, they're kind of like
flimsy. Yeah, they smash on.
Instead of like smashing at that, he's just like push you into it. After the match, though, Benoit continues the beatdown on Rikishi with the chair. Seven. WWE officials come out to the ring, and they can't, or just do not want to try to pull him off Rikishi. Like, hey, Chris, you lost, buddy. Just give it up, man. So,
was it split brand at the time? No, right?
No, but no.
Okay.
Brand, no.
Okay, so I'll be really interested to see what happened the Monday night after this. Yeah. Benoit and Rikishi had scores to settle.
Did he lose the title the next night? Well, I think Benoit's moving on to they had to get the title off him.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're pushing him into the main event scene at this point, right?
Yeah, he's just beat up DX.
Yeah, so.
And him and Eddie won the titles around the same time.
That's 2002, though, right?
Didn't we review something recently?
No Way Out. It was 2002, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's Eddie won that, and then the WrestleMania after that, Benoit won. So I guess it's not for a couple of years, but
yeah, they were moving on with a different program. Probably he's probably in the midst of turning, as we saw.
So earlier tonight, let's go to the next segment. Earlier tonight, Linda McMahon arrived to the arena, and
my favorite.
She's got one thing here on her mind, and that's to confront her husband, Vince McMahon. She's bad. She's really like. Not like bad, like, oh, she's so bad. Why is she even on camera?
Mm-hmm.
Like, just so like monotone. And she just stands there and looks at the camera. And I haven't even got to the best fucking segment yet with Linda McMahon.
No, yeah, Linda and Vince, right?
We'll get there. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But then it cuts to Vince, Shane, and Stephanie and Triple H in the locker room. You know what I noticed the other day? I don't know if we talked about this. But doesn't Triple H, when he talks, it kind of sounds like the Trump? It kind of sounds like Trump.
He didn't talk about that.
I always felt like they're. I don't know if Trump was like, this guy Triple H is great. I'm gonna like watch his the way he talks. Maybe it's those things.
Well, you did notice that a little bit down the line. I don't know where it is. I didn't highlight it in my notes, but a little bit down the line on this pay-per-view, he actually makes an appearance. Because he was at Madison Square Garden last night.
Oh God! Yeah.
So he was. So that it refreshed his memory in my head. That was just really odd.
So Vince, Shane, Steph, and Triple H are in the back in their locker room. The family is worried that Linda is going to derail their plans tonight with Vince, and because they think Linda's going to make Vince lose his cool.
Again, I forgot what happened.
And this is just the start. This is like the entire night is Vince McMahon comedy gold.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm cool. I'm so cool. All right, buddy.
Oh my God.
It's great. It's the best thing I ever saw. Like the entire show I was cracking up.
Yeah. And he was very youthful too.
Oh dude, he was prime. Like this is like perfect prime age, like marbleized Kobe. Perfectly cooked steak right here. So then,
Mr. McMahon.
We'll have more of him coming up later. So sorry. The plans tonight. They're talking about Linda McMahon derailing the plans. What's happening is that there's a 6-man tag as the main event. Although it's for the WWF title, so whoever gets the pinfall wins the title.
See, it's shit like this that makes David Arquette the champion.
Well.
Can't blame David Arquette. You gotta blame the people that booked it.
Yeah, we got Michael Cole with Chris Benoit backstage, and Benoit's he's here to do what he wants when he wants. Now he's gonna go back to the hotel room, order a steak. I don't know. He didn't say the last part, but he just like left for the rest of the night. Like I felt like
make a shake.
Yeah, like okay, you're gonna go drink your protein shake. Cool, dude. Right on. Next up, Eddie Guerrero with Chyna versus Val Venis with Trish Stratus.
This is prime Chyna, right?
This is. Well, I mean, it's not prime Chyna. This is like.
I'm not saying prime.
After DX.
Yeah, this is her actually making her own way, so to speak, right?
Yeah, this is after her and Triple H. went their separate ways,
Mm-hmm.
and in business and otherwise. But yeah, no. Now she's doing the whole Eddie Guerrero, her and Eddie Guerrero Mamacita character, which I think it's funny. But how did the two people get here, Eddie Guerrero and Val Venis? So on the June 8th edition of SmackDown, Guerrero defeated Matt Hardy in a qualifying match of the tournament. Then on June 19th edition of Raw, Guerrero defeated his kayfabe girlfriend Chyna with a sneaky inside cradle. That's when they had the match, and he pinned her, and she got really mad because
I don't remember that. Wow.
yeah. Well, she said he was trying to, before the match, he's like, come on, Mamacita. Like, I'm not going to do the voice. He's like, come on, Mamacita. Like, let's just like hang out a little bit. And she's like, I want to take this match seriously. I want to see how far I can go in this tournament. and the supportive boyfriend that Eddie Guerrero is pinned her in the tournament. But hey.
Well, the year 2000 was the year of the woman. The year the woman got beat up.
Oh, on WWE.
Oh my God! And this episode alone, every time if a woman made an appearance, a man laid hands on her. Yeah. Wow.
I get there. I think I got some more, especially in the tag match. So Val Venis, how did he get here? Well, I mean, he's just a douchebag. No,
he hired new help.
He defeated Karate Master Al Snow on Sunday Night Heat on June 4th, 2000. Then he went to beat Jeff Hardy in the second round on another edition of Sunday Night Heat, June 8th.
And when did he loves Heat? And when did he take on Trish?
Val? No, that's his manager.
Yeah. When did he take her on? Like when did they combine forces? Was it pre?
I don't know. I didn't get that information.
Okay. I thought maybe you remember.
No, this is one of the ones I vaguely remember. Trish and Val together, like even Val.
She had TNA.
Yeah, she was kind of like managing a bunch. Why wasn't there like a stable TNA and Val or something? I don't know.
Because she kept her business contacts separate.
Yeah, she's like a Hollywood agent. She doesn't you don't put Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise together in the same movie. I mean, like, come on.
Damn.
So the match itself, 8 minutes and 4 seconds. Did Val Venis's music get dubbed over, or was this just his weird music for the time?
No, I think that once he got with Trish, he got like some weird EDC music.
It was like you heard the saxophone at the beginning, and then I didn't like it.
I think it was a way to update him because they're totally refreshing his gimmick by giving him Trish as a manager, and it only makes sense because he changed his trunks too. He had on black trunks instead of the pink or white. What was he wearing?
Oh, but he still had the purple V on it though.
Yeah. But it looked a little bit more slick. You know what I mean? And he looked more like a classic heel. So I think they were trying to, maybe spray some polish on that gimmick.
Yeah. So let's see. Val takes control early by stomping down on Eddie Guerrero, but Eddie battles back with a drop kick and a series of strikes of his own. Both men topple over the ropes to the outside. They battle around the ring for what seems like a full minute. Back in the ring, the two men battle on the top rope, superplex to Val, modified surfboard headlock to Val Venis, but he battles out of the hold. We get a drop kick to the back, to Val's back to the corner. The crowd begins chanting, "We want puppies," because Trish Stratus is down there, and it's 2000. We get a pop-up Hurricane Rana to Val. Eddie goes for the top rope for a frog splash. Venis moves, but Eddie rolls. He literally just rolls right out of it, which I thought was great. Like it was no him splashing on the mat. He was just like, whoop. I was like, right on, dude. Val then slams Eddie with a spine buster. Eddie gets
a weak-looking spine buster, by the way.
Oh, I mean, we did just watch Slamboree '93.
That's true. We saw the greatest of all time, the greatest spine buster of all time.
Yeah. Eddie gets his knees up for the money shot. Val tries to get sneaky by pinning Eddie with his feet on the ropes, but only gets a 2 count. They battle on the top turnbuckle. Eddie goes for a Hurricane Rana, but Trish distracts the ref. And Chyna takes out Trish. Val grabs Chyna by the hair in an attempt to take her out, but Chyna evades and strikes Val down with a strike of her own. Eddie then goes for the roll up. Val with a handful of tights. A fitting ending to the match, I thought. But no, Val kicks out. Then we get a fisherman suplex and then a pin in the win.
Just like that. What?
From
Wait,
Val
what?
Guerrero. So the match was decent leading up to the finish. And like I said, I thought the spot where, Trish distracts the ref and Val almost gets the pin. All of a sudden, Chyna takes out Trish. Chyna, knocks out Val. And then Val gets pinned by Eddie. Would have been a fitting ending.
Yeah.
But
then you have face versus face as the next match.
Yeah.
Because you would have Rikishi.
But Eddie Guerrero versus Rikishi would have been a farce.
It would have been a way better match. Yeah.
It didn't build up to it either. So
no.
This match I felt like it was booked better for Eddie to go over, but it seems really weird that he was beat by a random move. And a Fisherman Buster, that wasn't even Val's finisher.
Yeah. You know what? Eddie was probably too hot to win this match, if you know what I mean. Yeah. He was
a European champion.
Yeah, and he was I wouldn't say the main event, but the main attraction of whatever show he was on. And he probably had a lot more airtime than whoever was going to wrestle these next two matches. So that was his reward. Lose this one, don't worry, you have plenty of airtime. You're on TV all day.
That's true. They did. I felt like they did try to give more of a push to people who weren't on TV all the time, or people that weren't just main event superstars in this tournament.
Crash was heavily highlighted in this goddamn pay-per-view.
Damn right he was. And then we get to another great segment of the night. Pat Patterson picking out his evening gown for his match later tonight against Gerald Brisco. Yes, I said that right. Pat Patterson picking out his evening gown for his match against Gerald Brisco for the hardcore title in their hardcore evening gown match.
And I forgot what an evening gown match was until the match showed up. I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
God, dude.
Oh man.
Pat Patterson is just he's backstage with one of the stylists. He's like, what is this? What, this is too big on, look at this. This is too big on me. I need a size 6. That would fit better. And God bless it. I didn't know Patterson was gay until years later.
Yeah. How many people did know I
guess 2000s? A lot of people knew, but I guess back it was people like Dave Meltzer knew and things like that. But it wasn't like the fans knew,
Yeah.
So, but looking back at it, man, Patterson was having the fucking time of his life that night.
Yeah, dude. I feel like this was kind of given to him as a rib. If they didn't know he was, and he was like, "Oh, you think this is a rib for me?" Huh?
I don't even think it was a rib because the entire night,
so I felt here you go, bro.
I never thought it was like distasteful. There was not a point. It was kind of crude
to that. Yeah,
but it was crude. But there was never a point where they're
and you got
they're gay or
and it's 2000. We could expect it a lot worse.
They made a couple of drag queen jokes, he looks like an old drag queen, but it's
that's what he looked like. Yeah.
So we'll get more of that later tonight. Oh, the stylist says she's good at her job, but she's not a miracle worker. What is that supposed to mean?
Come on.
Jonathan Coachman with Rikishi backstage. Rikishi's status is his status in the tournament is in question because of the attack earlier tonight. But upon first sight, Rikishi, that's what they're building up. They're like, Rikishi was taken down by Benoit earlier tonight. Will he be able to compete? And he's just standing there, just all pumped up, ready to go. Not a spot on him.
But I think he even dropped the "I'm ready for you, Val."
No, they said it's the big man. They said, are you ready to go tonight? He says, is the big man able? You know it. All right.
Yes. I love Rikishi.
He's great, man. Yeah. So then we go on to Crash Holly versus Bull Buchanan. Yes. Crash Holly, Bull Buchanan. I don't know what part of Bull Buchanan's gimmick this is. I know he was with the boss man for a second, but that's when he had the riot gear on, and then I feel like he didn't have that on in this match. He just had a black. I don't know.
And I noticed something that the seats started emptying out for this match.
Well, they know they're going to get some more Crash Holly later tonight. He's facing Bull.
Yeah. Can I say
Yeah.
It is the late and great Crash Holly, who unfortunately passed away in the year 2003. Around this time, he was actually rumored to be one of the insiders that gave Dirt Sheets information.
Oh, I would love.
Did you ever hear that back then?
Oh, that's great. Yeah. I mean, like he, damn, 2003. You're right, November 6th, 2003. I think that was my mom's birthday. He died.
Oh wow,
birthday. She was a big fan too. No, that's great. I do like that. You know, I just see him on the phone, like, yeah. Hey Dave, yeah, that's what they're doing. I'm the super heavyweight. So how did they get here, though? Crash Holly, June 1st, he defeated Albert in a surprising fashion by rolling up Albert with a handful of his tights. Cut to June 19th when Crash defeated his own cousin, Hardcore Holly, via disqualification, though. He won by DQ when Gerald, Brisco, and Patterson came down to the ring and attacked Crash Holly, pinned him for his hardcore title at the time. And that's what led to the two old men in an evening gown match. Yeah. But he did go over in advance in the tournament. So, hey, you know, you could always get a hardcore title match. You just go and
show up.
Ref with you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Bull Buchanan. How did he get here? I don't know. No, he
cut the bus.
He defeated Steve Blackman with the help of the Big Boss Man in a qualifier match.
Steve Blackman's still around?
He was, yeah.
Beat Boss Man?
No, Boss Man helped Buchanan win.
Oh, okay. In
the qualifier match on May 29th of Raw. Then June 18th, Sunday Night Heat, Buchanan defeated Perry Saturn in a clean fashion. So this match was 4 minutes and 7 seconds. Crash taking it to Bull. Bull, of course, overpowering Crash at every chance he gets. Bull has control early on, while pretty much for most of the match. Some fans are very close to the mic, chanting "boring" at the part. Crash then shows some life with an inside cradle attempt, but Bull kicks out. Bull goes for the scissor kicks, but Crash evades and cradles Bull with the pin and the win. Like I said, a lot of the fans were chanting "boring" during this match.
So was I from my couch.
It wasn't that great. So Crash runs out of the ring, up the ramp the second he wins, and probably smart to do so.
Yeah. I went to the bathroom, came back, and still was like, this match is still on?
Well,
we have a whole tournament to do. Come on.
You need to check your phone or something while you're in there. I
should. Next time.
And then, like, the comedy gold segment of the night. Linda McMahon in her locker room. She's on the phone, and in walks her husband, Vince McMahon. And every time he's on screen, I'm just laughing the entire night. Vince is irate that she's here in the building. And like I said, he has just such charisma, and Linda is like anti-charisma. So it's like a good balance at least. You know? Linda, she wants to make sure Vince McMahon is man enough tonight and not have any outside interference in the person tag match.
What was it? You're not going to have 14 people all in here.
But Vince is just like, what? No one, especially you, can question my testicular fortitude.
Oh my God. Once they found out what that meant, they were like, oh, we're all over this. Vince made it his catchphrase.
He was so bipolar in this segment too. I loved it because he'd be like, oh, I'm cool, Linda. I just want to make sure you're okay. Don't you ever say anything to me.
Oh my God.
It was great. Like if you're gonna watch anything from this, like if you want to see prime Vince McMahon, you watch this segment right here. It's great. He's just ranting like a coked out maniac, and like I said,
like a coked out maniac, or
yes, he is ranting
allegedly.
As a coked out maniac would do.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Kurt
Angle. Wait. There was this one moment when he was like, "Don't you look at me like that," or "Don't you talk to me like that." And she was like, "I will talk to you any way I want to."
What?
It was the same. It was the same monotone voice. She started talking one way. Then when she got angry, she was still talking the same tone.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Don't talk to me like that."
Will you be man enough tonight, Vince? Will you be able to do it without help? You know. Exactly. Yeah, she's like just like a fan. No matter like what, like setting you put it at. It's just like
it'll oscillate and sound a little bit different, but that's just because it's moving around the room. It's the same thing.
Kurt Angle versus Chris Jericho. So how did these two men get here? Oh boy. Well, Kurt qualified for the tournament June 1st on SmackDown, defeating Bradshaw. And then on June 19th, Raw defeated Bubba Ray Dudley, defeating both men by pinfall. Jericho defeated Test by pinfall on June 8th on SmackDown, and then tapped out Edge on the June 19th edition of Raw.
What? Edge?
Hey, man, this is when Edge was still a tag team guy.
Yeah, you're right.
They didn't put any real... Like, he wasn't main eventing until, like, 2005.
No, this is peak Edge and Christian.
So Kurt...
Flash photography.
Yeah. No, it is, and we'll get there. Kurt gets on the mic before the match. He goes, obviously, this is a very special night for your Olympic hero. We all know because I'm going to do something in this town that's never been heard of. Kurt then starts trashing on the local sports teams in Boston because that's where it's taking place. This is just a few years before, and it's funny because he's ripping on them for not winning championships, and this is a few years before Boston just like starts winning all the championships.
Yeah.
So, because like in 2002, the Red Sox finally break their
curse.
Or no, in 2004, I'm sorry. 2002 is when the Pats began winning their their Super Bowl championships, and the Celtics winning in 2008. So they kind of all won.
Kevin Garnett era was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty good. I liked it. Jericho comes to the ring. He says, Kirk Angel, don't sell yourself short because
that was a great line.
Because of my mind and all these Jericho-holics, you're already a king to me. You're the king of goofy, ugly ring attire. You're the king of all nerds. And most importantly, you are the king of all the 30-year-old virgins. Which I'm like, Kurt Angle was an Olympic hero. Like, Jericho, do you not hear what happens in Olympic Village?
Yeah.
Like, they all just bone.
Yeah.
Like that's all I heard they do. They don't even think. They just work out bone. I'm like,
I was going to say something stupid. Never mind.
Feel free, but as far as we're concerned, though, you're just a royal pain in the ass, he says to Kurt Angle.
That was great.
The match finally begins. They exchange strikes back and forth. Kurt rakes the eyes of Jericho and takes over. Multiple strikes at Jericho in the corner. Brief hope spot for Y2J, but Kurt gives him the belly to belly. Jericho begins a comeback with a flying forearm, a series of strikes, and a missile drop kick. One arm bulldog to Kurt. Lion salt to Angle, but Angle gets his foot on the bottom rope for the pin, to save himself for the pin.
Great lion salt, by the way.
Yeah, it looked really good. Springboard drop kick to Angle, knocking him to the outside. They battle into the front row fans right there, and that's when I felt like there was a really random sign that said Triple H, Hunter hates homos.
Yeah,
it was really confusing to me because I don't know if it was like pro LGBT where they're like Hunter's homophobic, just so you guys know. Like, you know what I mean? Or if it was like they were like, yeah, I love Triple H, he hates homos. Like, I couldn't figure out which one it was.
Well, homos was capitalized, so I would say it's a pro.
So they were like, that Triple H, guys, he's homophobic. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was 2000 Triple H. Let's see.
Not at all.
Angle whipped into the stair, or Jericho whipped into the stairs. Both men get back into the ring. Angle keeps continuing, taking over on Y2J. Y2J battles back with a double underhook brainbuster. That's when Y2J has been laying in the chops the entire match. I don't know if you noticed that, but he was chopping Angle pretty hard the entire match.
I don't know. Yeah.
Catapult to Jericho, backbreaker to Jericho. They go back and forth for a bit. Jericho then drop kicks Angle while he's on the ring post. Hurricane Rana to Angle, spinning heel kick to Angle. Angle then battles back, goes for an Olympic slam, but Jericho maneuvers out of it. Jericho goes for the walls, but a very bouncy Stephanie McMahon jogs down to ringside in her halter top. Steph then distracts the ref while Angle is tapping out.
And her women's championship belt, was that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And yeah, she was women's champion.
I remember that, but
Yeah. Angle then knocks down Jericho, falling into the ref. The ref falls, and Steph gets into the ring. Steph goes to strike Jericho with her women's championship, but Jericho ducks and strikes Angle, and she strikes Angle.
Oops.
Stephanie, in shock, realizes what just happened, and that's when Jericho pretty much sexually assaults Stephanie in the middle of the ring. He kisses her in the middle of the ring, and I never even got that when I was a kid. I was like, why are you kissing her if you were like I don't
like gross, you suck, I hate you.
yeah, I get what hate sex is, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people out there, but at the same time it's just like with consent.
Yeah,
I want
what fun. That's no fun.
Yeah.
Kissing and not being kissed back, that sucks.
It does, it really does. I'm kidding. This allows Angle to hit the Olympic Slam, and good on him, because the sexual predator does not deserve to win the match. I'm kidding. Just the character in that match that one night was a sexual predator. Angle gets the pin on Chris Jericho. This was a fun match. These two men worked very well together. I wonder why Jericho was laying in the chops so hard. Also, as fucked as the finish was, and minus the rape angle, I enjoyed this entire match.
Yeah, it was fun. Classic Jericho, classic Kurt Angle. So yeah, this was tons of fun. I thought they blew their load a little early with this match. It could have been pushed a little bit towards the middle.
Well, I like what they were doing. They were doing each step. Like they would have tournament block, and then a match or two, and then tournament matches, a match, and then the final. So I like.
Yeah, but swap Jericho and who did Angle face next? Crash?
Oh yeah, but then you would have
swap those two out.
Yeah,
and Crash has the early angle still. Jericho, if he went against Bull, no problem. He would have advanced against Angle in the second round, and this whole scenario could have played out like without a hitch. Yeah. And we would have had a fun middle instead of this little bit of a lull that we hit.
Yeah. No, I mean, I hear you. Yeah. We move on to the next segment. Shane McMahon and Vince McMahon backstage in the locker room. And I love because Shane is telling Vince is telling Shane, well, be confident. Remember what your name is. And Shane replies, he goes, I'm confident. I'm not worried about my confidence. That's not what I'm worried about. And Vince has this look on his face like, what are you trying to say? And he goes, I'm worried about Triple H. And Vince is like, yeah, I am too,
Yeah.
You're right. It was great. Just the entire night.
Yeah, but he did give him that, damn, Dad, you didn't keep your cool stuff.
Yeah. Next up, we have a very poorly mic'd segment with Mick Foley in WWF New York.
But not only was it poorly mic'd, but these fans don't know when to shut the hell up.
They are just like screaming in his
Foley, Tori, Ivory.
Well, Ivory was working the bar with Mick Foley, just like
Mick wouldn't turn around. She's like, hey, Mick, I got a beer for you.
I made you a drink. He's just like, have a nice day.
Yeah, he couldn't hear Jack.
No, he couldn't. I think even at points he was like, what are you saying?
Mm-hmm. Wait, and kind of what the question is that he was being asked. So he just went into like, I'm very happy to be here, and this is going to be a great time.
New York, bang, bang. He could have just did that and been like, have a nice day.
Back to you. Yeah. And they had to get on him about his haircut. Oh, you assholes.
Yeah. Next up, we have the fourth-quarter elimination match. Edge and Christian versus Too Cool, who are the champions going into this match, versus the Hardy Boys versus T&A. That's the team of Test and Albert. So how did we get here? You asked me, Jose. Well,
I'm really curious to know how Too Cool got the titles and who gave that a green light.
Well, on the May 20, they were super over. Yeah, everybody loved Too Cool.
But they just liked them dancing at the end. That's all they liked.
Yeah.
And the noises.
Vince doesn't care about tag titles. He never.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He's just like, screw it, put them on. So how did we get here? On the May 29th edition of Monday Night Raw, Too Cool defeated Edge and Christian to become the tag team champions. Edge and Christian invoking their rematch clause weeks before the pay-per-view, Too Cool kind of went on a 50-50 run with TNA on SmackDown. And then the Hardy Boys were added to the match.
Because of the Hardy Boys and whatnot.
Because they're the Hardy Boys, and they needed a fourth team to add to the match. So Edge and Christian come out first. They pretty much do the same thing Kurt Angle did when he came out to the ring. They're what were they? What jerseys were they wearing?
They're wearing the Bill Buckner jersey.
Yeah, they're doing
the famous I want to say 1985, 1986 World Series. They're playing against the Mets.
Yes. Well, I have it down right here. Game 6 of the 1986 World Series between Bill Buckner's Boston Red Sox and the New York Mets. With the score tied in extra innings. The Mets, Mookie Wilson hit a very weak ground ball.
What a cool name.
That went straight through Buckner's leg, allowing the winning run to score from third base.
And I think that was the third out.
Yeah, that was the third out. The Red Sox would have won the series.
Known as the greatest choke of all time.
Yeah, and so they were redoing that. So this happened, 14 years before? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
Vince was outdated in the year 2000, doing like making fun of stuff that happened in '86.
Yeah, but you know what? This is something that really hurt Boston. You know, it got him a lot of it got Edge and Christian a lot of heat.
Well, you know what's funny, because he was wearing a Mets jersey, and I was like, why didn't he wear a Yankees jersey? Oh, he wants to walk out of the stadium. Like I feel like if Edge would have walked in there wearing a Yankees jersey, somebody would have shot him.
But the whole thing is that this play happened against the Mets in '86.
So
before you did the research.
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay.
In my head, I was like, why is he wearing a Mets jersey?
Yeah.
Wouldn't he get more heat for wearing a Yankees jersey? But then I think he would just get too much heat. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So TNA have their generic music. They come out to the ring. Too Cool come out, and everyone. How can you not like Too Cool? They're too cool. They're very cool, man. I'm just saying. Did you not like Too Cool?
I was really deep into hip hop at this point.
So no, hated them.
So I was like,
come on, Grandmaster Sex.
You know, they were like the Vanilla Ice sellouts now, and they were just appropriating everything good about hip hop. What's his name? Christopher. What's his name? With the braids was too much. I hated Road Dogg and Road Dogg. Badass wasn't really that bad.
Well, the fact that they were like portrayed as like these like kind of moronic characters, I thought it made it a little bit like with Road Dogg. I was kind of like, all right, dude, he's trying to come off like this cool guy. Mm-hmm. I'm the DOWG, the ROAD, and I'm just like, all right, you're a bit much, but
yeah, okay, but you know, somebody like Road Dogg wasn't handed a Rikishi to validate them appropriating. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
So yeah, I had my beef with that gimmick.
Oh, I want
that's me. That's just
on a hip hop team, but you know. All right, Vince, we know. So this match went about 14 minutes and 11 seconds. I think the second longest match of the night.
Felt longer.
Jeff Hardy and Albert start the match with Albert outpowering Jeff Hardy, with Jeff with a few comeback spots.
Oh my God, he almost messed up one of those presses.
Yeah.
He had Jeff up here. Oh shit.
Albert continues to beat down on Jeff and Matt Hardy. Albert tags in his partner, Test. Test goes for the ground and pound on Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy goes for a twist of fate, but is distracted by Trish because, how can you not be distracted by Trish? Who hops on the edge of the ring, and Matt Hardy's instant reaction was to swing at her.
Yeah.
That's like, dude, chill. Like, but she's like, hey, Lita.
Yeah.
Can you go? Hey, thank you. So Chyna did earlier. So that's why Eddie Guerrero Chyna around.
Come on. Didn't you get the playbook?
Chyna, do you want to join Team Extreme? I don't know. Well, that's exactly what happens, though.
Mm-hmm.
If I remembered my notes correctly. Lita then knocks out Trish, distracts Test, who focuses the attention by trying to grab Lita by her hair. Lita slaps Test, leading to a twist of fate by Matt to Test. Albert then goes after Lita by grabbing her by the throat. Test hits Matt Hardy with a pump handle slam. Jeff gets on the turnbuckle with Albert, charging towards him. This is this nice spot because like Tess is on the ground and Albert's charging Jeff, who's on the ropes or on the top turnbuckle, but Jeff does a swanton over Albert.
Charging Albert, yeah.
Yeah. Matt then covers Test and he gets the pin. The first team eliminated was TNA.
Sweet.
So
but not so much. Trish is gone. Damn.
Yeah, well, it's Trish. They're like, Trish, she was out earlier tonight. She'll be out again later tonight. Don't worry.
Oh, and she looks so naive, so fresh and new to the business. The green was glaring, but it was a good green.
Scotty gets in the ring with Jeff Hardy. Christian tags himself in. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wait, just like, why would you tag yourself in?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you do that? Like, especially in this 4 corners match. If I was
You're only eliminating yourself.
Yeah, it's elimination. So just go chill.
Yeah.
Like,
and
leave the match for a second.
Yeah. And even King and JR were talking about it, and they got the logic all wrong. They're like, hey, if you're in there, you can't win. Yeah, but if you're in there, you can't lose, or something. It was backwards. It was as backwards.
Yeah.
It's like, no. You want to be on the outside. You want them to eliminate each other. Shit, I'll tag back in on purpose.
Eventually, Lita hits Edge with a Hurricane Rana and twists the fate to Christian, but Edge pulls Matt off of Christian to break the count. We have a kill switch to Matt, and Christian gets the pin on Matt Hardy.
Dude, those Hurricane Ranas, they always gave me nerves, but she always seemed to hit him. Like this one, I don't know how, but by the mercy of God, they were able to connect on time.
Yeah, I felt like she was always very good at her Hurricane Ranas. I feel like they should have spelled hers with a H-E-R. Hurricane Rana.
Her Hurricane Rana? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just trying to, what do you call it?
Well, you know what? That would have been a great idea for
she lives in San Francisco. Maybe if I ever see her, I'll just be like, hey, Lita or Amy, I got a great business idea for you. It's a shirt. It says Hurricane Rana.
Mm-hmm. You better copyright that before these
I have
the artists that we know take it from you.
Patent pending.
It's my this is my evidence. The video where you're watching right now.
Let's
you at home are my evidence.
Stamp date this.
You will get a, what do you call it? A summons.
You know what? This would have been a great idea for the WWF.com relaunch that we're soon to hear about.
Oh yeah. So the last 2 teams in this match are Too Cool and Edge and Christian. Edge and Sexy start things off. We have a nice neck breaker to Edge, followed by a missile drop kick. Christian gets the upper hand on Hate. And then I do love how Christian begins to mock Grandmaster Sexay with his dance skills.
Yeah.
He's like, I can do it. ENC hits a double falling headbutt to Scotty. That's who they're building the heat on. Edge and Christian building the heat on Scotty to Hottie. We get a hot tag to a Sexay. Sexay beats down on Edge, catapults him into Christian. The classic 90s headbutt to the dick spot where Edge is on the ground and Christian falls into his partner's ding dong.
Hello.
We have a sit down powerbomb to Edge, which is the count's broken up by Christian. Edge and Christian then attempt a double worm, but they're stopped by Scotty to Hottie. Scotty hits the worm on Edge. Christian attempts to hit Sexay with the belt, but is stopped at first. Sexay then goes for the atomic leg drop to Edge. When Sexay goes for the pin, the ref had to escort Scotty out of the ring. Like he's just like Sexay's about to get the pin. And he's just like, oh, hold on, I gotta go. The ref's like, I gotta go do something. I'm like, what? Like, what are you doing, man?
I didn't even notice. I was 2 into the match.
Yeah,
this is cool.
Christian then hits Grandmaster Sexay with the belt. Edge covers Grandmaster Sexay, and Edge pins Grandmaster Sexay.
Dude, I popped in my chair.
For the pin and the win and the new tag team champions.
I was like, what? I've seen this before, but still, woo!
Yeah, 14 minutes, 11 seconds. Let's see. So this was a fun match for what it was. There was a couple sloppy spots. I felt like, like when they were trying to incorporate comedy, but also do like the double worm spot. It was really bad because they didn't know how to do a worm at all. And you're asking.
I think that's what makes it comedy now, that they were so bad at it.
Yeah. I'm a wrestling podcaster, so I need to rip on people for not knowing how to do the worm, trying to do the worm in front of thousands of people, and I've even never done a worm. Okay, so it looks sloppy.
Yeah, dummies.
That's not bad. Anyways, so then Michael. Well, so what do you think of this match?
I had fun, dude. Like I said, I popped in my chair when I was watching the match. It was fun.
Michael Cole with Crash Holly. He's backstage and he says he promises that these old men in their pink pink dresses and their mascara will get theirs.
Okay.
Shadowing something later tonight.
Yeah.
Rikishi with Val Venis, King of the Ring was a semifinals match, I believe, or quarterfinal now. Yeah. So weeks leading up to the match, how did these men have a storyline going into this? Well, they kind of just had some back and forth matches on SmackDown, which they didn't like have separate brands, but I did notice how people had like feuds on SmackDown and then they had separate feuds on Raw.
Oh,
I mean, like Rikishi and like who was Rikishi and Too Cool fighting with? You know what I mean? Like he was kind of battling the Edge and Christian, and then all of a sudden on SmackDown he was going for the IC title. So this match was 3 minutes and 15 seconds. There was not much going on in this match. Back and forth, leg drop to Val, body slam. I mean, Rikishi looked good the entire night. He did a lot of energy. Val mounts a comeback by hitting a single arm takedown to Rikishi's hurt arm. Val got on the top turnbuckle going for the money shot, but Rikishi pops up and I love how Val exclaims, "What the?"
He was good for something.
Yeah.
He was
looking scared, yeah. Rikishi catches Val off the top turnbuckle, hits a belly to belly, and pins him.
Dude, that was awesome.
That was a good
and it goes back to they weren't doing their regular moves.
Yeah,
to finish the match.
Yeah. This match was slow at times, but and then had a cool down. It was kind of a cool down after the tag team match. Rikishi was so good. I mean, yeah,
we got to see Trish again.
Yeah, I don't know why after the match Trish jumped on Rikishi's back.
Hey, you suck. Why'd you got to beat up my man like that?
Like, why though? Like, she should be smarter than that. Like, I don't know. It was dumb. Rikishi slams Trish down after jumping on his back, attempts for a bonsai drop, but Val Venis hits a low blow, slams him into the mat, hits Rikishi with the steel stairs, Pillmanizes Rikishi's arm, and leaves. So they're really stacking the deck against Rikishi going into the finals.
Now going after that big contusion on his arm.
Yeah. Gerald Brisco with Jonathan Cochin backstage, and Gerald.
Dude, that cauliflower ear was insane.
Oh, on Brisco?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, and they say your nose and your ears continue growing. That's the only thing that continues growing on your body. So Briscoe's ears were the size of my headphones.
Gee, mini Christmas. But Gerald Brisco does not like being in this match later tonight. You think this is funny and I have to wear a dress? Mr. McMahon is making me wear a dress. The only emotion I'm feeling right now is revenge. Which I don't think revenge is an emotion. And I think they called it out on the show. They were like, wait, revenge isn't an emotion. What did you say?
You know what I mean. Damn it.
We go to our next match of the night. Kurt Angle versus Crash Holly, quarterfinal match. Yes. So Angle and Crash, they've had no run-ins before this match. Everyone else...
And why would they?
Yeah.
They live in two different worlds.
Everyone else in this tournament has had some sort of run-in somewhere down the line. But I was actually really excited for this match because this is one of those matches that's like...
Only here.
Yeah.
Tournament. Can you see this match?
Exactly. And holy shit. Angle gave Crash a lot in this match. They made Crash look like $1 million.
Yeah. Well, this is going on to his. Well,
this has to be
we'll get to it, but yeah.
This has to be before they found out he was given the dirt sheets.
Yeah. No, it was rumored back then. I think they gave him faith, though.
Crash.
What if we give you the hardcore title? Would you shut up then?
No. Crash begins the offense on Kurt, taking him down, surprisingly taking him down multiple times. Crash and Angle go back and forth. Power slam to Angle. Double underhook suplex to Crash. This is actually a very competitive match with Angle giving Crash a lot. Angle beats down on Crash. Crash mounts a comeback with a missile dropkick to Angle. Even though Angle gave Crash a lot, though, he flapjacks Crash, choking him on the ropes, Olympic slam, and pin and win for Kurt Angle.
One thing that I noticed about Kurt Angle is while I was watching this, I was like, yeah, you could see that he's a little bit green here. But then if you look back at his career and a lot of his matches, he always has these moments where he loses focus and something happens in the match where it's like near botch or something that wasn't exactly planned. So that's just it's ill when you have this history that you look back upon. Then you can go in and fast forward into the future, kind of like Marty McFly.
Yeah, man. I mean, I didn't like Crash when I was a kid, but looking back on him, he's $1 million, man. $1 million.
He was a character, man. He was better than Spike, character-wise.
Oh yeah, 100 times.
Let's talk about all the little men that have been around. Rey Mysterio, he's actually had more character than Rey Mysterio. Mysterio's all skill.
Yeah, Mysterio just like talks about legacy and family.
Hey man,
I'm
gonna tell you something, cabrón.
Okay, so
my friend, yo no soy tu amigo.
Have you ever seen that movie 50 First Dates?
Yeah.
It's back to back on Comedy Central tonight. I don't know why. But anyways, you ever see that character who plays the Drew Barrymore's brother in the movie?
Yeah. Well, what's his name? Dave from Encino Man. I mean,
I always thought that was based off Crash Holly. I don't know why, but I got very Crash Holly vibes off of him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I never got that. I never got the vibes that Crash Holly was on roids, but this guy was.
No, I never got that.
But just the character itself.
The character, though, like he's walking around saying he's heavier than he is, and he's like a super heavyweight.
Mm-hmm. He could bench press X amount. Yeah,
exactly. So, I mean, they never said steroids, but one could assume that his character, would have done them, not him.
Yeah. The character, yeah, totally get it.
Oh, and then we get Donald Trump.
Oh, boy. Well, being that they're in Boston today, last night they're at Madison Square Garden. And who else would be at Madison Square Garden but maybe a silent investor by the name of Donald J. Trump?
Okay. Me and Vince are great friends. One day Linda is going to work for me. I swear. Anyways, less said about
it. But we can't look at it through 2020 eyes. We have to look through it at our, far away machine.
Oh, yay, Donald Trump.
Well, no, not yay, Donald Trump. But at that time, he was being mentioned in raps by rappers. He was in every commercial everywhere. He had a deal with NBC. He was kind of a big deal. I mean, pop culture wise. Little did we know, or we always knew he was an evil fucking ass. But just the image that he was portraying and carrying at the time related with WWF. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
very inseamed into the culture, and that's why you win an election nowadays, I guess.
Sadly. Well, yeah, or lose an election.
Boo!
Oh, no. Next up, Michael Cole with Kane. And Kane says, "There's one thing The Rock and my brother don't understand, and that's me becoming the WWF champion." And I'm like, that's not for them to understand. That's just something you want, but it's not for them to understand. That's
you know what just hit me right now. I didn't even notice that. Going back to Donald Trump, he was getting all this admiration during the show. He went to a house show. He wasn't invited to the pay-per-view. He went to a house show. Yes. How great is that? He even had a house show. He's craving all this attention, and he loves it all. Give me more.
Oh, it's great. It's great. Then Jonathan.
What do you mean I'm not on TV? There's a big TV over there. I see myself.
Oh, can you get the good side of me? Which side is that? Jonathan Coachman with The Undertaker.
I don't like this Undertaker.
In our talk show. I like this Undertaker. And it's a nervous Undertaker.
Yeah.
Because Undertaker, I've noticed this. When he's the dead man, he can hide his personal self. And I think Undertaker's a very shy person. Like, what's that? Mark Calloway? I think Mark Calloway's a very shy man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think if you really boil down to it and talk to
Well,
him,
you can tell because the way his voice is so soft spoken during interviews.
You know what? I'm gonna go down here. I'm gonna do some stuff.
he does that a lot when he's nervous.
Yeah.
See that? No. He says,
It doesn't take a brain surgeon to know why my brother wants to become the WWF champion, but there's only one man who will become WWF champion, and I didn't come to Boston to lose.
okay.
Thank you, Mark. Very 80s of you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
And then for my main event,
Gerald Brisco versus Pat Patterson in the first and only, I don't know if only, but evening gown hardcore match for the hardcore title. So, like I said, how did we officially get here? Brisco beat Crash Holly for the hardcore title in Crash's King of the Ring qualifying match against Hardcore Holly. Patterson was celebrating with Brisco, and then just like in the back, busted a bottle of champagne over his friend's head and pins him for the title and pours the champagne over his head. I'm just like, what?
Oh, this is not RuPaul's best friend, Frank.
Well, they were celebrating. They continued the celebration. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah, they kept going back and forth for a few weeks, and that's when Vince. Well, they did like get into dress. Like they were wearing dresses.
Well, Pat hid in the ladies' locker room.
That's right. And who was it? Like they're like, I know where Pat Patterson.
Yeah,
is.
it was like a behind the scenes guy. Yeah, like a production assistant or something. He's
so,
jumping out. He's jumping around like a lunatic. I know where he is. I know where he is.
So then this match is 3 minutes and 7 seconds. It's 3 minutes and 7 seconds too long. It was a bad match, but it was funny. I think the beginning.
Did you notice? Did you get the Hogan diss?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yes,
when they came out to when Gerald Brisco and Pat Patterson used to both come out to Hogan's Real American.
Yeah.
So I do love because Brisco comes out to the ring first, and he's coming out to Real American. He's got a stuffed bra and a 2x4. He's just looking. He's looking angry, and fucking Patterson comes to the ring, and they're playing like this like 1920s stripper music, like and he is loving it. He's just like,
he's having a blast.
The boa, he's going back and forth. He's like throwing stuff to the fans. He's blowing kisses. It's great because
good for him, dude. It looked like he finally got out of the show.
Like he looked happy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And the fact that he could act like gay in front of or act who he was, or just put on a show like that and be more of who he was in front of the fans. I think that's great.
Well, was Pride Month a thing back in 2000?
Yeah. So it was Pride Month. I mean, it is Pride Month now. So happy Pride Month. Patterson gets on the mic, says, "Look at you, Brisco. You look like an old drag queen. Look, let me talk to you, Brisco. Every time you defended your championship, I was by your side. I was your friend, wasn't I? I was always your friend. You know, all these people want to see us go at it real bad. But I have a better idea. Jerry, if this is the belt you want, I'll lay down for you. You get on top of me. Have the ref count 1, 2.
It makes me want a hot dog real bad."
The two men hug, but then Patterson gives Brisco a low blow and begins to spank Brisco. And this is a bad match, but and I think this is when I give up on the match because at this point, the comedy's kind of over when they start kind of fighting.
Yeah, dude.
It's just them pulling the dresses off of each other. You know what I
mean? That's the rule that I forgot until this match. I was like, oh, that's right. They have to strip each other. Oh.
Fans begin chanting boring. We get a Bronco Buster to Patterson. Finally, the savior of this match, Crash Holly, comes to the ring and beats down both men, hits Brisco in the head with a garbage can. Crash Holly pins Patterson to become your new hardcore champion. And I guess he's the winner of the lingerie evening gown match, or I don't know.
I think there was a different referee brought in, so it was a separate match altogether. So it was just no contest, I guess.
Yeah, no contest. I mean, what does Wikipedia says? Wikipedia says Pat Patterson. Oh, it says it ended when Crash Holly pinned Patterson. thanks, Wikipedia. That's not the answer I wanted.
That's not helpful.
Well, the answer I got. All right. So this is pure comedy. This match is horrible, but the fans did pop. They did pop fucking for Crash Holly winning that hardcore title because they were so bored.
Yeah.
Like anything, man.
Like they weren't yelling boring, but they were chanting something.
Oh, they were. They were chanting.
Oh, it was boring? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought I misheard. Was that boring or was that something else? Like, oh, God. Oh, God.
Yeah. So next up, we have the Dudley Boyz versus Corporate DX. Suck it!
Suck it long and suck it hard.
So this is like the weird version of DX, where I think it's like, I know they're a part of the corporation, or like they're just like part of the Vince McMahon, Helmsley regime.
Tree.
But like, they're still DX, but like Triple H isn't DX.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like,
they're distant branches on the McMahon tree.
This version of DX was Road Dogg, X-Pac, and Tori.
Huh?
Yeah. So I don't know. So how did we get here? Weeks ago, Tori attacked Bubba Ray Dudley. Bubba fights back. Bubba began to fight back and was about to put Tori through a table, but was stopped by Gerald Brisco in the previous mentioned match.
They're all over this.
Bubba can't get over the fact that he didn't put her through a table. So for weeks, he's stalking Tori, looking to drive her through Pine each and every week.
That was like Bubba Ray's thing at this time, where he like went into a trance and got like this weird,
if he didn't do it,
euphoric feeling off of powerbombing women through tables. Remember, he did it to Mae Young and a couple other people.
Remember?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Face here. The Dudleys being put, and eventually the Dudleys being put in a dumpster, being pushed off the SmackDown stage. The prior week on SmackDown, the Dudleys attacked DX, and DX actually are the ones that requested this match, but Vince made it a dumpster match. It's kind of like a casket match, but it's a dumpster instead.
Mm-hmm.
The match is about 9 minutes and 45 seconds.
It was a dumpster match and a ladder match. I mean, and a tables match.
Exactly, yeah. Which I'm just like, whatever match it is, it's no DQ. So
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So DX come out to their Run DMC music, which I really love.
Me too. I forgot that this even was a thing.
Yeah, go check it out. Dudley's come out to the ring carrying a table with Tori's name spray painted on it. Dudley's charged DX and chased them out of the ring. Bubba and Road Dogg officially start the match. Bubba immediately takes his eyes off of Road Dogg and turns around and goes for Tori. Stopped by Road Dogg. Back and forth, leading to Bubba giving Road Dogg a flying elbow. That's when the X-Pac sucks chants began. And I think I know why X-Pac had X-Pac heat.
At this time?
Yeah. Like, I think I know why.
What was the source? I might know, but what was the
source? This is what I think it is. I think fans were really pissed over the whole breakup with Kane and the Tori situation. Because Tori was like, remember the storyline was Tori was into Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Or supposedly Tori was into Kane, and that was going to be like a love interest for Kane. It was Tori and Kane, and X-Pac was like the friend. And all of a sudden, X-Pac turned on Kane. Because remember, he was like, we're going to invite a new big green machine into the DX family tonight.
That's right.
And then he beat up Kane, and they broke the team up. So then X-Pac is with this very attractive woman. Like literally, there's parts where like he does the suck it. She's in front of him, she's like doing her pose, and he's like rubbing her head and like thrusting at the back of her head. And
oh my God.
I think people were just like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Like, who does he think he is? Like, and maybe it was a bit jealousy, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mixed with like disgust. But that's where I think X-Pac heat originated.
There's that old machismo thing that, when I was a young man, I probably went through it. Who am I kidding? But like checking out a dude and a hot chick together, and you're like, ugh, the ultimate jealousy coming over you going, that guy isn't that hot.
Yeah.
Why does he get her? So that's what all these machismic males in the audience were thinking to themselves. X-Pac.
That's toxic masculinity.
You ain't that good looking. You're some skinny little guy.
And once people caught on, X-Pac does suck. You're right. He's actually a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, I seen his porn. It was pretty cool.
Oh my.
X-Pac has real bad X-Pac heat in this match. X-Pac or DX building the heat on Devon. Tori actually tags herself in to get some kicks on. I'm like, why is Tori tagging herself in? It doesn't make any sense. We get a "what's up" to Road Dogg, and then a "what up" to X-Pac. Tori then goes after Bubba because, yeah. And then the most uncomfortable spot of the night.
Except for Devon.
This is what I'm going for.
It's uncomfortable for everyone except Devon.
Devon, yeah, exactly. Devon goes for the "was up" to Tori, and he falls on her, and he literally has his face in her crotch. And I know I say like a minute, and I know that's not that long, but like
it was an extended amount of time.
It was like way too long, to the point where, and he was still like shaking his head.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I just thought that was kind of like not cool, like at all. Like even if it was
100%, yeah.
Like I don't know behind the scenes of what really happened there.
Well, I mean, I'm guessing
from what I saw.
Back then they did have a reputation for fucking around with the women a little bit too much.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what
Shitting in bags and stuff,
Was that Randy Orton?
I think it was somebody.
It was somebody.
I don't want to put anybody on blast. Well, we put people on blast all the time. Sure, it was
allegedly. Allegedly. Yeah. So yeah, that was. I felt bad. I felt kind of bad for Tori right there. Dudley's go after Dog. Dudley's so X-Pac and Road Dogg are trying to leave the ring. Ooh, they're partners in the ring, getting pretty much sexually assaulted by the Dudley boys. And DX fights back. They get the dumpster open. We get dumpster cam because that's what we need. The DX get the Dudleys in the can. They get the lids closed, but the ref is distracted by Tori, who's on the outside. The Dudleys crawl out of the dumpster because they have little side doors. They crawl around to the other side of the ring. So then, the Dudleys then appear on the other side of the ring with chairs to strike DX down. Bubba threw the steel stairs into the ring. I'm sorry. Literally almost hit Road Dogg when he throws those stairs in there. Road Dogg had to move out of the way. The Dudleys set up two tables on each side or on top of each other. They put Road Dogg through the
double tables on the outside.
Yeah, double tables on the outside. X-Pac gets Bubba down. That sets up Devon on another table. X-Pac climbed up to the top turnbuckle only to be crotched by Bubba. Devon climbs up to the side, gives X-Pac a suplex through the table.
At this point, they only need to put Tori through a table and they win the match. Or
no, I don't think so.
No, that's what the announcer said.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I thought
they needed to. Yeah, the whole. In order for the Dudley Boys to win, they had to put all three members of DX through tables. In order for DX to win, they had to put the Dudley Boys in the dumpster.
Oh, okay.
That's how I mean. Maybe I heard it. Maybe I heard it wrong, but that was the story that was being told because they did. What's his name? Oh, Jesus, the Road Dogg first.
Yeah.
And then X-Pac, and then they were going after Tori. They didn't get that, so then this is where the story continues. Please.
Yeah, man, that's very confusing.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest, it really
That's
is.
why after, right in this spot in my notes, it says, lame rules.
Then Tori climbs into the dumpster to hide from the Dudleys.
Mm-hmm.
The Dudleys then go after Tori, but I thought she wasn't in there for a second, but I guess she still was in there. DX hit Dudleys in the back with chairs into the dumpsters. Then they close the lids and they win. So
what
it doesn't make any sense at all to have DX win here, especially
with what happens next.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just made no sense at all. Earlier in the match when DX got the Dudleys in the dumpsters for the first time, shouldn't the Dudleys have gotten the vision? Like, shouldn't they have gotten the visual win on the DX somehow? For this match to make sense, for DX to win, the Dudleys at one point should have been like, got that, like, earlier night where Angle was tapping out the visual submission. They should have got the visual win. So, like, if they could have won by throwing DX into the dumpsters, they should have had DX in the dumpster with the ref distracted. Is all I'm saying. Like, they should have made the Dudleys look a little bit better.
Okay, well then this is where the rules that I heard come into effect, because it wouldn't have been a win because the Dudley Boys can't win that way with DX in the dumpster.
Yeah. So the whole story of this match was Bubba determined to put Tori through a table. Then why did she go after Bubba a few times? Like, it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that was stupid. Yeah, that was dumb.
Then eventually, the Dudley Boys jump out of the dumpster with Tori. DX tried to save her, but they received some 3Ds for their actions tonight. Bubba then licks the air in Tori's direction, which is very suggestive, but I guess is better than Devon physically assaulting her. Devon then comes to the ring with the Tori table. We get the atomic powerbomb to Tori through the table. Again, why did DX have to win this match? Couldn't the Dudleys have just won?
You could have skipped all these other steps and had the Dudleys put her through a table, and they would have won the match.
Yeah, even with the whole actual rules in place,
totally.
And the visual win would have been when DX got them into the dumpsters earlier, but they got out
and they escaped,
and then the Dudleys should have won.
But
Michael Cole interviewing Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle is one win away for what he calls the most important tournament in the entire world, coming from somebody who was in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, Angle, you're really putting over WWE.
Didn't even JR say something like that?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, he might. I don't know. I'm just guessing because he's good. But you're good too, Corey. You know what I miss a lot is him just saying, "It's true." Oh, it's true. I don't like this. Damn true. I don't like that. It doesn't.
It evolved. I mean, yeah.
It doesn't roll off the tongue the same way.
Yeah.
It hits different, as the kids would say today.
I think it really depends on the situation at hand. I don't think.
Well, tonight he only did it once every time. He didn't go, "It's true." Oh, he just went, "It's true."
Yeah, and he's pretty funny too because he goes, "Yeah, Rikishi's great if you like dancing."
Dude, I don't remember a time Kurt Angle was not good on the microphone.
Yeah, it's great. Rikishi's then with Coachman, and Rikishi says, "Ain't nothing in this world gonna stop this ass from backing up." All right. That's what
he called him Captain America, which is kind of a compliment.
Yeah. Well, I guess back in the day, like in 2000, like there was no Captain America movie.
There wasn't. And it was
all we went off of was the comic book, which was kind of corny. Like,
yeah, and not many people read it. When
they
did
weren't the X-Men.
Brubaker take over? I don't know. That was maybe 2010. So that's when it became good again. But yeah, he
even
probably
then,
around
like,
the time
Captain America 1 came out in what, like 07?
I think so, somewhere around
like
there.
that.
Yeah,
So
near 10. Yeah.
So yeah, I think once the movie came out, it was Captain America was kind of cool, and then Iron Man, But
he's gotten cooler over time.
Like, all I was concerned about as a kid was X-Men, Spider-Man, and Batman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't give a fuck about no Superman. Like, fuck Superman. Guy sucks. Kryptonite and shit.
You lame-o.
Lame bastard. Anyways, Kurt Angle versus Rikishi.
Weak. He was a crack addict.
Well, The Rock takes a lot of people out.
You're right.
It takes out people in the main event. It also takes out people on the street. The crack rock I'm talking about.
I smoke rocks.
Anyways, this match, Kurt Angle versus Rikishi, King of the Ring finals. 5 minutes and 56 seconds this match was. Rikishi hurt going into this match after being assaulted by Val Venis. Angle
it felt like a longer match, but in a good way.
Oh, absolutely. Angle was pretty much the fresh face going into this match because, he faced Crash Holly. He got help from Stephanie McMahon. So, yeah, Angle goes right after Rikishi. Rikishi hits multiple power slams to Angle. Angle sets up for the stink face. Angle is set up for the stink face, but gives Rikishi a low blow, pretty much right in front of the ref, but nothing's called. I guess ref's discretion. And I guess that's pretty good because it's the King of the Ring final. You don't want to win by DQ.
Yeah. Or the referee might have been too close to see it. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
You know how
Rikishi.
they do that sometimes?
Yeah.
He's talking to them right in their face, and they don't see the low blow. So what do you mean? What?
Rikishi shows signs of life and begins the comeback with a lariat and a Samoan drop to Angle. He then gives Angle a diamond cutter. Rikishi, which was out of nowhere. It's something I've never seen in his repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
He finally applies the dreaded stink face to Kurt Angle. Rikishi then turns his back to Angle, and Angle just hits the Olympic slam. Big Man kicks out, though, which I was surprised. Angle goes for a leapfrog sunset flip to Rikishi, but the Big Man is too big to fall over and sits on the chest of Angle. We get a 2 count. Rikishi then goes up to the top turnbuckle, crotched by Angle, atomic belly to belly, and the pin and the win. And I think this match should have had a actual finisher involved. I don't think this match should have ended in a just a regular move. It was the final match of the tournament.
Yeah.
It should have ended in an Olympic slam to Rikishi, lifting him up over his head.
Mm-hmm.
A la or whatever. Just like Hogan lifting Andre.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same, but in some respects, you get that same visual.
Yeah, exactly.
Angle.
And the Big Man off his feet, doing the impossible. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. What did I write about this match when I watched this? These two worked well together, but it seemed like kind of a lackluster match. There were parts that were good, but also like Rikishi, this is like his third match of the night.
Yeah.
And I know it's Angles too, but like Rikishi looked really good in all his matches.
Mm-hmm.
This match was like the less of them. So
yeah, it almost felt like Kurt Angle, even though he had a pretty rough go of it this tournament, it felt like he had a pretty easy time doing it. If that makes sense at all.
Yeah,
like competition didn't hold up to what it should have been. Yeah.
He's natural in the ring, so
yeah, like he just blew by the competition. Boom.
Then we cut backstage. Oh yeah, we don't get a celebration. I guess that's the next night on Raw. I was kind of hoping for the coronation.
Yeah.
McMahon Helmsley regime arguing.
Whoa! Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. There was a cover of Wrestling versus Baseball that was highlighted on the show. I don't know if it was Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Yeah, it was. I don't know if it was Pro Wrestling Illustrated. It probably wasn't, or maybe Sports Illustrated. But it was Wrestling versus Baseball magazine cover featuring the likes of The Rock and Mike Piazza, former catchers of the New York Mets. Mike in this picture, at first glance, I didn't know who he was at first glance because all I could see was Joey Ryan. That's the only I saw The Rock and Joey Ryan. So what the hell is he doing in the magazine cover with The Rock? Wait, hold on. Oh, that's Mike Piazza. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I just think of pizza when I think of Piazza. It's like Mike Pizza, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds tasty.
And his name is almost spelled exactly like it, yeah.
I think it's just an extra Z, right?
Yeah.
So then we have the 6-man tag match for the WWF Championship. So like I said, not Kurt Angle, The Rock, Undertaker, and Kane versus Triple H, Shane McMahon, and Vince McMahon. Whoever gets the pinfall wins the title. So I think it was whoever gets the pinfall on the face side wins the title. I don't think the same rule was applied for the heels, right?
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't remember that particular stipulation.
So how we got here, heading into this main event between the McMahon Helmsley faction and the team of The Rock, Kane, and Undertaker. At Judgment Day, Undertaker returned with his new biker gimmick after an 8-month growing injury and attacked by Triple H during an Iron Man match he attacked Triple H between the Iron Man match between him and The Rock, forcing Triple H to get the win. The Rock was disqualified. Triple H won the match 6-5. On the June 1st episode of SmackDown with an exclamation point, Rock, Kane, and Undertaker won qualifying matches to qualify for the WWF title shot at King of the Ring. On the June 12th episode of Raw's War, Linda McMahon announced that the King of the Ring, all three of them would team up against Triple H, Vince McMahon, and Shane McMahon in a 6-person tag team match. And on 3 days later, at SmackDown, a stipulation was added that if Triple H's team won, Triple H would defend the title against the winner of the King of the Ring tournament at Fully Loaded. Okay.
Geez, so many rules.
Yeah. So that's why you saw Kurt Angle watching closely backstage too.
Yeah, with a big carton of milk.
But if any person of Rock's team gets the pinfall, he would lose the title, and then they would win the title. So,
And then they would go against the winner of King of the Ring.
I believe so, yes. So this match, 17 minutes and 54 seconds. Longest match of the night.
Oh, you mean we have... Oh, no, never mind.
What?
Do we have Kurt Angle facing the winner of this match? Cool.
I mean, eventually. I
didn't think of that.
Fully Loaded, I think, yeah. So Trips and Vince begin arguing right off the bat. Shane decides to get in first, and he charges Kane.
Oh, can I say that Triple H has really cool theme here? It's not quite the DX theme. It's like a new Triple H remix. You know, because it wasn't the guy like his cousin or something, like his brother-in-law.
Who, Lemon?
That did the theme.
Oh, Mike Johnson? Mike Johnson?
I don't remember the guy's name.
No.
You know, the guy that did the DX theme?
Yeah.
He's related to Triple H.
Oh, that guy was... No, that was... I don't know. Anyways.
Okay, anyways, the theme is like a remix of the DX thing.
Okay. Trips and Vince begin arguing back and forth. Shane decides to step in the ring first, and he charges Kane, which is before the bell rings. So Hebner is supposed to hold all three of the faces back, but he only pushes back Undertaker and The Rock, and Kane's just like, he walks up to Shane, and he's just like, okay, you're good. I'll give you. I think this is called on the fly because Kane then puts his hand behind his back. He goes, "Go ahead and you get the first shot."
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he was just supposed to be held back by Earl Hebner,
and he just snuck past him. Oops.
So then Kane then gives Shane a free shot. Shane strikes Kane. Kane charges Shane, only for Shane to dodge to get in his weak strikes.
Okay, say that sentence.
No.
5 times real fast.
No, I'm not going to say it one more time fast. Kane takes over, as one would expect, Shane trying to escape every chance he gets. The McMahon's trying to double team Kane, but is stopped quickly. Rock tags himself in. Triple H and Rock come face to face, but it's all ruse because Shane strikes Rock from behind. Rock then beats down on Shane, and Undertaker tags himself in. The commentators are suggesting that the faces aren't able to work together as a team, but at this point, they're just working like 3 badass dudes that know when to get in the ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no one had a problem with it too. Rock was like, I'm in. Taker, I'm in. And I was like, everyone was like, all right, cool.
Mm-hmm. And you know what else I took away from this? What? Only 2 of the 6 participants were were shirtless. Everybody else had some type of jacket or vest or something.
Oh, it's this Rock and well, the main people, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody else was like kind of a shadow in the background. Even Undertaker, he had that black vest on.
So Taker gets in the ring with Shane, and I love this because he takes Shane's head and smashes his head in the turnbuckle. And you hear Taker goes, "Hello, Mr. Turnbuckle." He smashes his head in there. Like,
no, dude, throughout the whole match, you heard Undertaker like super out of character yelling at the opponent.
And I wonder if
that fell.
Nice left hook. Laying it into Shane a little bit just because it's Taker. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Giant chokeslam to Shane. Taker goes for the pin, but is broken up by his own partner, The Rock. He breaks up the count. Taker hits a DDT to Triple H, but Kane is the one to break up this count. Rock low bridged, and the heels begin to triple team The Rock. The Brothers of Destruction coming over for the save. Rock and Triple H are kind of going at it in the ring. And that's when Rock cleans off the announcer's table. Shane and Kane battling on the outside while Mr. McMahon and Taker are as well. Triple H hits the pedigree to The Rock. Now, I think Taker was supposed to break up this count, but he totally doesn't.
Yeah, and they give him credit for it too.
Yeah, so The Rock kicks out of the pedigree, and you just see Undertaker try to reach over, and JR is like, "Oh, thank God for the Undertaker breaking up the count." I'm like, "Right on, dude. It's not what happened, but all right."
Yeah.
So then Rock is staggering around the ring. Like I said, Kane and Taker are holding out their hands for the hot tag, but Rock doesn't want to tag him in because he wants that title.
No, why should
I? Heels building the heat on The Rock. At one point, Mr. McMahon tags himself into the ring, begins to strike down on The Rock, and JR exclaims, "That's the damn chairman of the company. You wouldn't see Bill Gates do that. And I just envisioned Bill Gates just beating the shit out of one of his employees. Like, no one ever tells me this is 500 times faster with more processing speed.
With a keyboard.
Yeah, slams him through an X. Like, hits him with the prototype Xbox.
Oh my god!
Rock
These look too much like the PlayStation controllers.
Bastard. Rock gets a brief spot of comeback, but Vince gets Rock down with a low blow. Vince tags in Triple H. Shane breaks up the pinfall attempt when Rock had Triple H down. So then again, we get back to the spot where Trips and Rock are alone in the ring, while Kane and the Brothers of Destruction and the McMahons are on the outside. That's when while on the outside, Kane took the Undertaker out with a throat chop and smashing him into the stairs. Rock in the ring goes for the people's elbow, stopped by Kane with a choke slam. Triple H has this huge smile on his face. He's like, "Hey, thumbs up, man. Yeah," to Kane. And Kane, it's funny because Kane's just like pantomiming the entire night. He's like, and so then Trips, like I said, he turns his back on Kane. Kane goes for the tombstone pile driver. The count is broken up by Taker. Chair shots. This is when Taker kicks it into like 11th or 12th gear because he just starts running around the ring trying to get his spots in. Yeah. Chair shots to Kane. He gets Shane on the turnbuckle. Taker grabs him, choke slams him to the outside into the announcer's table.
Oh, so cool.
Which was amazing. Vince is in the ring alone with The Rock. He goes for the corporate elbow. Rock pops up, gives him a rock bottom, and the pin and win. So The Rock is your new WWF champion leaving.
Yeah. Who's that? Was that Finkel at the time? It was, right?
Yeah. World Wrestling Federation champion.
Love that guy.
Oh, Rock. Here's the cooking. Yeah. Yeah, man. Finkel, the Fink, man. Miss that guy. I mean, yeah. Feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
Even though the booking of this match was completely backwards, I had fun in it. This wasn't Arn Anderson versus Barry Windham at Slamboree, no, but
true.
Everyone in this match looked good and hit their spots, even the crazy ass scared father-in-law.
Yeah. You know what?
Really good build too. So
yeah. You know what was very Slamboree 93?
What?
It was Pat Patterson, Jerry Brisco. If it wasn't,
I don't know, man. Do you think they would have had the executioner in a dress that night?
If it wasn't for the dresses.
Yeah.
Because the promos they cut reminded me of Slamboree 93.
Man. But yeah. Who would you say is the MVP of the night? I would. We'll go for it.
Okay, I would say either Rikishi or Angle, and because he won the match, probably Angle.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a toss-up. There's a few people that you could spotlight. Who would be the MVP of the night? Rikishi being one of them. I would say off of like wrestling skill and their showmanship, like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Comedy-wise, however, it's really a toss-up between Vince, Patterson, or Crash Holly.
Vince wins that hands down.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I think if you're going to do a bronze going to Crash, silver going to Patterson for comedy gold, and Vince winning the actual gold. Yeah. Especially that segment with him and Linda in the locker room.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he looks coked out of his mind, and Linda looks like she took some sort of sedative. So
yeah, no, and the look on his face when he tried to do the people's elbow. That was insane too.
It was so bad too. Anytime Vince tries to do something like a signature move, he looks horrible, man.
Mm-hmm.
He can get his
ropes right.
Yeah.
Dude, you own a wrestling company, you don't know how to run the ropes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll give him the credit. He does that thing with a lot of his performers. Like he won't ask you to do something he won't do himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Well, that was King of the Ring 2000. I think one of the better pay-per-views I've watched in a long time.
The Rock wasn't really predominant on this show. I don't know if he was injured at that time or they wanted to just keep a good thing hidden, But I would have very much enjoyed it if the main event was swapped out with your King of the Ring. The pay-per-view is called King of the Ring after all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but McMahon's in the match. You know what I mean?
And that's why I know it would never have been another way. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, good pay-per-view. I mean, I enjoyed it thoroughly. I think, if you want to watch an old retro show where you don't have to do too much research, because a lot of the stuff I told you to, they recapped. You know what I mean? They didn't recap all the wins of everybody. You know, they didn't say, oh, you know, this person won cleanly, but they pretty much recap everything leading up to the show. So for every match, there was a good video package. It wasn't just some, you know, you don't have any idea like what's going on. You know what's going on here.
Yeah, that's something that used to happen a lot more back in the day, where stories were told on like in those brief vignettes leading up to the matches. I really enjoyed those back then. It brought you up to date with everything that's been going on these past 6 months.
Yeah, absolutely. So the King of the Ring 2000 is in the books. Our classic review is in the books. We'll be back again next month with a retro pay-per-view review. We will see.
It's actually one. If we go with what I would like to go with, it's a very not. I wouldn't say classic, but I'll say it's a classic clusterfuck of a pay-per-view.
Well, check us out on Instagram for hints for our future. Because I do that. I'll just fuck with people. I'll be like, "Ooh, coming soon." But you'll know first if you check us out at City Wrestling Radio on Instagram or Facebook, at CWR4 and 5 on Twitter. Be sure to click the thumbs up, subscribe button, all of the nice little clicky clicks down below on the YouTube channel. Or if you're listening wherever you get your fine podcast, click all the good clicky clicks there too. So we're going to get out of here for the night or day or morning, whatever it is for you. It's by your time, not by ours. See you guys later. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.